Everybody. I forgot to pre-schedule this stream, and also I'm a little bit grumpy because I oversalted our food. I was cooking tonight, and I very professionally oversalted the food. Yeah. But anyways, I thought I will continue a little bit with the simplified studies that we did this in the Monday video. But instead of just making studies, I turn them into robots because that's what I do. So if you're not as good with anatomy, and I am not, I will have a bit of issue here deciphering what's under the shirt. So I'm just trying to build up this the body shape as well as I can based on what we talked about in the video as well, in Monday's video. So you sort of have these cylinders, and then you have the legs. And I use this cube box thing for his upper body, which is slightly turned, but also I can't really see on it. And by see on it is like I had this sort of bend, and it's not what's happening there. Well, basically this is more like flat like that. So that's what I want to adjust a little bit here as well. And then you also have this nice trapezoid muscle, and then the neck is somewhere here, I guess, and jumping out from. But it's not that bent. I'm exaggerating there a little bit. And then this would be the arm. One is there. Something like that. Other one we don't quite see. This whole construction could come a little bit towards the back. Just like that. Yeah, it feels already better. And then the face, let's start off with the box, and then we'll turn it. Well, if it's a robot, it can actually stay a box, right? If I'm gonna stay with the robot. Ahmed, how to measure things like drawing boxes, the construction of the object, but then I add a new box, I see I cannot know the right proportions. Well, of course you can. That's like you decide how big the box is. If you see that if you say this is the upper body, then obviously the crotch area is not going to be the same size because you need it to be small. So yeah, it's not going to be perfect measurements, of course, but you can eyeball it and you can always adjust. That's why we're drawing. That's why we have erasers, because just keep on adjusting until you get to the type of box that works best. So it's always a measurement. And if you want to talk about measurement, okay, let me also do it in red. I like working in red. So it's a typical, I don't know if you, hi Michelle. Hey Manuel Harris, thanks you. Everything is okay other than I messed up food, I oversalted it, and I'm still a little bit grumpy over it. But okay, let's go back to measurements. Okay, let's say this is the head size, right? So like this box is his head. Then what you can do in your head, or what you can also do on the drawing, you can say, okay, so we have this box here, this head. This box fits once, it fits twice, 3 times, 4 times, 6 times, or 5 times, and 6 times, right? No, yeah, 6 times it fits down there in the bottom. Okay, turn this off. And let me turn this off a little bit as well. So then you know that also when you're drawing here, then you know that this head will be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is sort of like the body for you. And you can see that the knee is at the top of the second box. So you know that the leg will somewhere be here. And then you see that I imagine the hip is somewhere here. So the hip should be somewhere here. So this is where the leg goes, and then this is where the upper body ends. So you sort of use one element of the previous drawing and just project it throughout the whole drawing. And you can see this. Let me just open a new tab for you. Anatomy, figure, head. Not sure. Anatomy, drawing, body, and head. Let me see if there you go. See? So I use the same technique. I just take one point. Here they take the head and they measure how many times it fits. You can do the same thing with a car. Like if you're studying a car and there's like a super speedy, I don't know what sort of car it is, I can just say, okay, I'm gonna put wheels into a box and I'm gonna see how many times that box fits into the car from front to end or to the top, and then I just transfer this information for myself. So that's how I would measure things. And I see, that's good. All right, back to our robot guy. But yeah, so that's how you do. Like you just take a small thing and just project it over your drawing. Robert, can you show your Photoshop and Sketchbook setup for drawing in a video? Well, Sketchbook is this. So what I use, the only difference for me, like if we go to Windows, default layout. So what I like to do is have the color on the left and the brush pot on the right, because from here then I can change the size of my brush. And I like to have layers open here. This is a little bit like Photoshop for me. And then the brushes that I use, like if you go to my Sketchbook tutorial video, I think maybe I have them even in this description, all the brushes. But the brushes I use are the Hudson Rio brushes and the Kevin Mellon brushes. And these you can find, as I said, on the description of that video, you can find these. And Photoshop, I will jump into Photoshop in a minute as well. But yeah, that's really not so interesting. I think I don't do that big of a difference in Photoshop. Okay, back to our guy here. So I'm gonna try and draw a little bit of his face just for the fun of it, just because I'm not so good with those. But I just like these big loose t-shirt thingies. I think this will translate quite nicely. I'm drawing a robot. One thing that I really enjoy drawing are these legs. In general, because you have these really, actually I don't know what these muscles are. Calves? I think they're called calves. They're really cool in general, because you have the shin bone, I think it's called, and that makes your leg really nice, well, not straight. It has a little bit of bend to it, but you can always sort of see the shin bone and then the calf muscles in the back. I just always found that quite cool to draw. All right. I'm pretty sure I messed up things, so if I would overlay it and make it smaller. As always, the head is probably too big. Yeah, the head is too big, but it's not a problem now because we're going for a robot anyway. And you can see also the muscle jumps out a little bit on that side, so you can see a little bit of it. But okay, let me blow this up a little bit. So we have a higher quality drawing. I'll lower the opacity and just start having some fun. So say I want to keep the shirt. So I'm going to keep the shirt. And The rest is probably going to be a bit more robotic. Something that you would see in, what was it? DSX, I think it was called. Like augmented body parts. So always drawing the ellipses a bit through is helping to form those shapes a bit better. Ahmed, thanks a lot. This problem confused me a lot when I draw. Yeah, it's always about, you know, it's the same thing that you see sometimes older artists or artists who are outside do with their pencils, the whole measuring, where they hold their pencils. I don't know if you can see in the camera, but they like hold the pencil with a finger and then they try to look like they're measuring something. So that's what they're doing for, because they see like the specific distance from the top or the edge of the pencil up onto their finger. How many times does it fit into the specific thing that they're drawing? Yes. So I really like these modern robot design things where they have a lot of these artificial muscles, but I'm really not good at drawing them. I feel like I have quite an old school sensibility when it comes to a lot of drawing actually. I like this jawline, we should somehow incorporate it. And then he has the ear there, which in our case is some sort of, I actually don't know what it is. Kunal Devi, what tips can you give to budding industrial designer? Be clear what industrial design means, I guess. Industrial design is not about drawing, it's about design, and drawing is just one tool of design. So it's good to be clear with that. As an industrial designer or designer in general, you have to always keep the user in mind. So it's good to have, or it's good to be friendly with psychology in general, I would say. Because for you to be able to do user-friendly designs, you will need to understand your user. So you will have to probably also collaborate with psychologists at one point or another. But if you have more specific questions, I can try to answer those as well. Okay. So I do like to prod things out a little bit with like thinner lines and just to see how things might work. So I was thinking if it's worth putting a gun in his hand. But then again, I really like this, like half resting his hand in the pocket. So I'm just gonna try and do that. Drink a bit of water. Hey, Felix Martin, and also other people. Roland is asking, what objects do you recommend for someone who's trying to start sketching besides boxes? Well, the boxes are the basics, right? But I would like, I don't particularly recommend objects in themselves. Like, do a lot of live studies. Go to the kitchen, take pots, pans, take grocery stuff, and just try to draw that. And see how close you come with it. Try to understand if you don't come close with it, what's amiss, what's not going well. I'm not recommending boxes because I'm a boxaholic or something. It's just you can use whatever works best for you. For me, it works boxes. But if you say, "Hey, I see this," oh, sorry. If you say that I see this guy and I want to build him out of triangles and pyramids, then I don't know, knock yourself out. Like you can also do that. So you can use sort of weird triangle shapes and build your human out of those. So it's really up to you. But boxes are a good start because they're easy. You see them in everyday life, and everybody sort of understands what they are. Yeah, I can already see that I didn't move something. I didn't move enough. So let me just. The problem is that so his arm is almost under his shoulder, which I have correct, but I feel the shoulder is a little bit too close. So let us try and move that one a little bit like that. And then adjust it here and there. The inspired life, Robert. Oh, my voice. That is stuff, thank you. I teach CAD and architecture. Oh, very nice. Any tips for ideation videos to watch for CAD and architecture? Ooh, that's that's an interesting one. I must admit it's been a while since I learned CAD, and I think that our teaching of CAD was just like our professor was like, "Hey guys, here's the program, here are some tutorials, and have fun." I'm not complaining. I really liked it, and he did help us where we needed help, but I don't particularly remember any ideation regarding CAD. Also, like so when I use CAD for ideation, it's mostly on the iPad where I have is it Shaper 3D. Let me try something else. So I have Shaper 3D there, and I usually pre-sketch something. So I always do a quick sketch of something that I want to model. Like I think the best start for CAD for myself would be something with furniture because then you can have just a quick sketch, and as you start building stuff in CAD, you will start adjusting things anyways because when you're sketching something out, you don't really have any measurements. And once it's in the program, you start seeing like, oh, okay, that actually doesn't work like that. And then you do actually a lot of ideation and iteration within the CAD application itself. But yeah, it's a good question. I never thought like that. I am still thinking about what videos to recommend you. I guess I could mostly recommend something like something that inspires somebody, not necessarily ideation videos. You're using Onshape. Oh, Onshape. I will just note this down because I'm just curious to see what's out there. Okay, I'll take a look. This looks quite good. Well, on desktop, I use Fusion most of the time because I can use that semi-professionally. I don't really have too many jobs that require me to do 3D, but when I do, then at least I can use Fusion without having to buy a license for it. Okay, what do we do with these legs? So I think if we add some artificial muscles, that should work. I did open an unshaped window on the side. Must say it looks quite promising. I mean, in the end, I feel like if you learned one CAD package, you sort of know most of them. I think I started out with Autodesk Inventor, then switched to SolidWorks. Then I did my internship graduation project in Germany where they were using Katia. And then, yeah, because now I don't really want to pay thousands of euros in licensing fees, I'm using Fusion. But it's technically, it's all the same. Go Jibotoluva Atoki. Man, those names. Hi Robert, can you quickly explain your sketching setup? Are you drawing on your PC screen? Yes, I am drawing on my PC screen. So if you can see my face here, I have a Wacom 13 HD here in front of me and then two monitors behind that. And the webcam rests on one of those. I did. I did a sketch of it on my Instagram, so you can take a look at my Instagram for. Or no, actually, I did a YouTube. Like if you go there, yeah, I did a sketch for my on my YouTube channel about how my whole setup looks like. Onshape is working well and is cloud-based. Last year we used Fusion 360, but we need to use a cloud-based software. Good learning. Yeah. And Fusion, but I thought Fusion 360 is cloud-based as well. I mean, I know you can do a lot of what you call it, rendering. Sorry, guys. Oscar Vargas, hi from Spain. Hola, Oscar. Okay, water. And I feel like I twist it, so you can see right here. Okay, so let's use. Oh, let me jump back here. If we look at this knee, it's more like a shape like this. So if we look at the box, and I twisted it too much, so I need to bring that side view a little bit back to it. I was missing that. Here, the other knee shape is something like this, and I feel like I relatively got that there. I'm okay with that, but here I twisted it too much. Maybe I can also bring some of that back into this leg. Our school issued laptops cannot handle Fusion. Ah, okay, yeah, I get that. Yeah. Well, it's good that you have at least laptops that school issues out. Like for us, it was like, hey, you bring your own laptop or you bring your own computer. They don't really give you nothing. Actually, when I was doing my bachelor's, we all had desktop stuff. I'm one of those old school people who's not really happy with laptop setups. Like I'm working on a desktop now as well, and I am if I can, I would rather not work on laptops just because I know that I control my desktop. I can update it and upgrade it whenever needed. But yeah, that's not always a luxury that you have, especially at a school. So I sort of understand that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of the legs. I'm usually good with legs, but today I'm a little bit not so good. I'm just gonna cut parts here out. You can take that away. It's not needed. A robot with sneakers. It's what we're doing here today, guys. Yeah, feel free to keep on asking me things. I'll try and answer as well as I can. What do we have here? Metushi Singhal, hey, hey. I'm gonna have a little sip of fire water. Okay. Let me see if I can make this a bit more graphic. I've been thinking about maybe doing some t-shirt designs just for fun, and I am horrendous at graphic design in general, so I feel I need a lot of exercise. Ooh, why? Where is the hole? Is there a hole? No. Oh, it's just super, super high. Okay, I mean 15 should be good. Yeah, there we go. Let's see how we feel about this. Level tech art and creativity skills. I showed my students some of your concept idea videos. They are designing eco-friendly house. Eco-friendly house products. That's nice. Sounds good. Well, like, is it like kitchen utensils or just anywhere, anything in a house? Man, I, I, I miss those student days. I must admit. It was really fun because it's sort of like you're a designer even though you're just a student, and you get all sorts of different assignments every semester. It's always a new and interesting, different challenge. Yeah, being a design student is really just pure fun and joy, I must say. It's a bit too dark. Yeah, let's leave the inner lines a bit thinner. What Mitsushi Singhal, what keeps you going? Uh, I don't know. Just the joy of drawing, the joy of creating something that wasn't there before. I guess that's the whole part of the creative, that I just like creating and imagining things that don't exist and that could exist. And if it comes to industrial design, that you can also build So because like I do a lot of non-industrial design related stuff as well, and as you can see here on the channel as well, but also my work is not really industrial design related. Every time I do something that actually can be built and realized in a real world, that makes me really happy. Like for example, the armchair with the built-in bookcase that I did last time that people really liked, and some people actually built it, and also a bar stool that somebody on Instagram saw and they just wanted to build it. Like that sort of stuff really keeps me going. If we're talking about really what keeps me going. Levente Berge, hi from Hungary. Oh, hello from Hungary. Hi from Amsterdam. That's what I can say. Empress Valkyrie. How do you get better at drawing accurately from reference? Being patient and acknowledging your mistakes and fixing them. Like I'm not super. The thing is, I'm not super accurate either. So I showed before. Like, let me take a copy of this just when we talked about accuracy, and I'm gonna try and overlay it over this guy, and you'll see that it's not really that accurate. There we go. I think something like this. So the arm is set okay, but it's not still like there's plenty of areas where it diverges. The thing is, I try to keep it still okay looking. So this whole neck could go a little bit further back. It's about just, I guess, also being a bit consistent, and even if something is off, just making it work. But yeah, in my opinion, the most important thing is just keeping doing these studies, and also doing them a little bit. What's the correct word? On purpose, I would like to say, so that you approach it with a specific thing that you want to study, not just like I tend to say as well, just keep on drawing because it's good. Yeah, of course, it's good, but you can also draw forever and just not get better because you're not doing it deliberately. I think that's the correct word. So you have to draw deliberately. You have to tell yourself, okay, this is what I want to learn from this drawing. This is what I want to make sure that I'll get down correctly. Um, some of example compost bins with a worm. Oh, I like that viewing windows. Hydroponic fish tank. That's a cool one. Music players for the shower. Nets to attach to boat to collect trash. I like those. Those are nice ones. Also, I'm just gonna come to it because I'm thinking like, okay, so if you don't think about shape, if you talk about a compost bin with a worm farm viewing window, like I would just start out maybe with something round, and then you would have the wormies in there, and then you would have all sorts of things. But then it's next step is really hard to do these rounded windows. Okay, so let's go back to something more straight. And if you want to have it elegant, it's nice to have it a little bit narrower. So then whatever fits in there would probably have to be. So that might be a design issue if it's too narrow, but it's worth taking to the prototype level. And then here you could have like a nice window for the worms. Maybe bring it a little bit over here as well. And then you have the trash in there. An alternate option, I would say, make it a bit more elegant, make it higher as well. And then make the window on the side. And then you can also sort of have how high the compost is in there. And then you can have the worms in there. See, this brings me back to university where you can just ideate on a whole bunch of shapes and forms and functions. And also, how would you open this? Would it be interesting if we just slide it open, or would you have like sort of a just an open mechanism, maybe like a lighter? Yeah, I like this. Uh, Thanks, man. Thanks for sharing. You made my day with that. Let me return to this guy here. Okay, so we need some sort of hinge system there. I feel like I want to give it some sort of extra. Does that look okay? It's always nice to have some more section lines. I'm always into those section lines. Not necessarily functional in this case, but it's relatively okay. Jenny's, what top 3 drawing books do you recommend for improvement? I already have yours, so my drawing book. Okay, I didn't know I have one. Depends. It really depends what you wanna learn, what you wanna study. So if you're into industrial design, I can really recommend Scott Robertson, his How to Draw and How to Render books. My teacher, I found his, especially on the field on industrial design, course Eisen. I keep on plugging him, but I think his books are quite good. I don't know the names, but if you look up course Eisen, you will find his books. He has 3 books in the same series that are quite good. If you're talking about just general drawing and humans, when I was younger, I feel like I learned a lot from Andrew Loomis, and I don't think I had the books. I just had like PDFs. I was talking to my local pirate friends. They got me the books because we didn't really have books back in good old Eastern Europe when it came to stuff like this. And lately, I really learned a lot from the Bridgman books as well. Like when it comes to anatomy, those were quite useful. Okay. Hello from Spain. Books of sketching, basic sketching, and sketching for design. Yeah, exactly, Felix Martin. Thank you. Thank you very much. Those are his books. Okay. I feel like I would like to maybe lighten some of these lines here because they're just too strong. And then at the same time make the outer lines a bit stronger. Give a meaning to these cutting lines. So that means a smaller razor, just cut in there and then fill it back in. And same here in the front maybe. And then make our razor big again. Okay, I think this is our fella. I'll give him a logo which could be like a sideways screw. So his shirt is not totally empty. He will have this little screw. And then, because somebody was asking if I could show them my Photoshop setup, we're going to save this. Can I put this into a box maybe? Would it look a little bit more interesting? Yeah, not sure. but I am going to save this under, what day do we have today? I'll save it here, 28 robot t-shirt guy, save, and then let's open Photoshop. Is Sketchbook nice on the iPad? Yeah, it is. I mean, I prefer it on the tablet. I mean, on the desktop. So I prefer the desktop version of Sketchbook. But I think it's the tablet version is just as nice. Or, well, close. There it is. And then we need a white background. And then I can erase this here. And maybe make the background different color. So I have this little trick that I showed you guys in one of my videos. So you can always check that one out. That just fills the selection with white. So this, because I had to do this a lot for my previous work, I just did this quick action that helps me fill whatever I draw relatively quickly with white. And yeah, this is my Photoshop setup. It's just box standard. Nothing really fantastic about it. I am going to stick monochrome because it just seems the most appropriate for a robot friend. I guess these artificial muscles could be a darker tone. So I'm going to go in there and just give it a darker tone like that. Imagine everything will need a little bit of a darker approach. But sometimes just going with black, put it down, and then I just color pick that. Oh, I was painting before and I had my painting brushes active. Let me fix that. But yeah, so I just go in with black, put one layer down, and then pick that, undo it, and use that for the coloring. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of rendering, as in it's a bit boring for my taste, but it can be also very relaxing. Thank you so much. That's very helpful. I'm trying to improve on my tech designs more. Yeah, that's just, yeah, draw a lot of techie stuff. Like look at engines, cars, stuff that already exists. That should help you quite a bit. So there should be some sort of central light hitting it somewhere there. I don't want to go too bright just yet. Can you tell how you made the action button? Yes, I have a video on it. So if you go back in my Photoshop library, or Photoshop, in my YouTube library, there is a specific video just on this action because I thought it would be helpful to share with you guys. But it's basically just a couple of simple steps of selecting outside of it, inverting the selection, and just filling it with white on a new layer. below the actual layer that I'm working in. Okay, I can go a bit brighter here, I feel like. Hello, Sarah. Welcome to the stream. Something like that. Okay, now we will have a bit of a shadow just under the pants. So I think, actually, where's our guy? I can get oriented by, ooh, wrong layer. I can get oriented here. Procreate for the sketchbook, do you have preference? If I'm working on the iPad, I would say 70% of the time Procreate. Just because it feels like Procreate was an app specifically developed for touch and with touch in mind. And the iPad, I mean, the sketchbook on the iPad feels a little bit like, oh, we had this really good program. How can we adapt it as well as possible to iPad? And they did a good job, but it just feels that Procreate was built from the get-go with iPad and touch sensitivity and touch functions in mind. Oh, I just noticed I didn't really do much on this arm, did I? Okay. You become white, take away this, and let's add a bit more detail to the arm. And this time in Photoshop. And sadly, I worked in quite a low resolution, I just noticed. Oof. What should I do? I don't feel like blowing this up. So we're just gonna stick with this resolution for now. Better eraser. Moroccan tea. Hey, Moroccan tea. I do like some Moroccan tea. Okay, that's some weird arm contraption there. Oh, it's not black. Nah, that's why it was weird. Nah, I get it now. Okay. That's my bad. No, I do not like that. Technically what I do now is let me show you. So we got this guy from Pinterest and I'm just gonna write in robot arm. Let's see what people have in mind. I'm gonna try and steal something if I find something that I like. I like this. It doesn't really fit with what I've been drawing there, but let's see if it's if I can adapt it. So let's go back to Photoshop. So what did we have there? Let's sort of not like that. I'm gonna cut that out. Yeah, actually I'm gonna do something like this. So I did like that some of the muscle things were visible there. There we go, that's already better. So I got inspired. I didn't copy what I saw there, but I nonetheless got inspired by it. There we go. Okay, and now I will probably have to adjust this a little bit. Just like that. Okay. Hey everybody else who just tuned in. I feel like I could adjust a little bit of detail to this hand here as well. Minor detail. It's not like that's gonna be visible anyways. There we go. Janice, would you ever consider making a sketchbook flip through or a live stream flipping through one and just talking about how you came up with the ideas? Yeah, if you take a look, I think my last video of December last year was sketchbook tour, and I have, I think, 2 more sketchbook tours as well on my YouTube channel. So yeah, definitely. And I had a plan to finishing sketchbook much faster, which didn't quite pan out, but I am still going to do a video, at least a sketchbook tour, when I'm done with that one as well, with that sketchbook. There we go. So I'm painting over this because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do the shirt white again. I sort of like this pastel blue for the background, I think. Okay. Let me give just a bit here as well. Have you ever 3D printed or laser cut any of your prototypes? Yes, for school. I think I also did laser cutting, but I definitely 3D printed one. Let me see. I will YouTube. Actually, one of my first videos is that it's unlisted. I will give you a link to it right now. Let me go to my YouTube Studios and content all the way back to the earliest videos. Come on. Why do I have so many videos? Why did I have to make so many videos? Oh, that's ridiculous. Okay, I think we're there. We go. Can I share this? Get shareable link. Here. This was an airplane that I designed and 3D printed. I think this was oof, what was it? Maya? No, Rhino. Yeah, that was done in Rhino back in the days. I haven't really used Rhino ever since. Also, I didn't really have a license for it, so no surprise there. But that was really fun, learning Rhino for that. And also, I did mess up the 3D printing on that one in a sense of, yeah, the school did it for us, so it didn't cost money, but that was not a hollow object, so it was like quite heavy. So it probably cost a lot of money. So I learned at least that to know next time whenever I'm gonna do a project for myself, if I don't want to pay a whole bunch of money for wasted material, I should think about hollowing out and how I do the interior construction of things that I want 3D printed. Okay. As I said, I want this to be white. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Or it could be something else as well later on. but for now I think white will work. Other questions? Hey Terry, I stopped immediately after seeing this sketch. Love Cyborgs. Thank you very much, Lucas. Actually, I don't know what I'm drawing. I'm just having fun. Oh yeah, I remember we had a couple of really fun projects with both laser cutters and 3D printers, but we also had quite a lot of like proper machine tools, like machining benches. I hope you guys are doing those as well, because those were some of the most fun exercises I remember. How about we make this like nice and pearlescent black? Something like this, and then even darker. I'll cut off. This should be a visor or something. Maybe it can be darkest at that point. Yeah, I like that. And then maybe let's give it a sheen. So that. Hide the selection, and then oh, that's too much white. Still too much white. Yeah, something like that. Would you ever consider making designer toys? Yes, it sounds fantastic. Sounds like something I would love to do. I wouldn't know how to approach it. I mean, it's been like I did study industrial design, and I do have a background in engineering, but the thing is, like, you can't really call yourself an engineer if you're not using those tools, because you forget a lot and very fast. You forget very fast. So I wouldn't know where to start with designing toys like that. Yes, add some infill, exactly. Hey, that's how you learn. Right? That's why you're a student. How to draw? I just want to say that I love your videos. Thank you very much. I'm happy to hear that. We are making a cyborg gentleman here that is sort of wearing this t-shirt with a screw on, and nobody knows why. Okay, so let's give this a little bit of an edge as well. I'm gonna come in with slightly thicker white brush just to emphasize this edge here. Might be a bit too white. This is what happens if you don't draw in high enough resolution. Let's make this a bit smaller and just draw in this edge. I like how that came out. And then do the same for the back of the head. A bit more. Yeah, something like that. The inspired life. I'm happy. I'm happy that you're inspired, man. It's sketchbook is a really good tool together with anything you want to learn in general. But sketchbook is a good one for sure. But in general, like with all tools, whatever works best for you, that's what you have to use. I'm a big fan of mixing and matching and using whatever you have there. Oop, no. Yeah, works better from this direction. And go a bit darker. The edge, because probably some light is hitting it there. Ooh, got a bit too bright with that specular right there. It's better if I take it just down just a notch. And I want to see how it will look, because these shoes, his quite dark, and he has those socks. So I'm gonna try and make the shoes white. Well, actually, let's make the whole thing white. Let's see how that is. Not gonna lie, the biggest fan. Okay, let's try what white soles. Try and make the shoes a bit darker. I don't know, something like this. Lighter. So it always takes a bit of experimentation till I find something I should enjoy. I think just that might work. Maybe if I go even darker. Yeah, yeah, I can live with that. It's not bad at all. What resolution do you draw in? A horribly small resolution, that is. So usually my resolution is quite big. Let's see. Pixels. So it's 3 times 180p is what I do at 300. But because I was zoomed in so much, like this is full size, which is relatively tiny and not really usable. But hey, I made this mistake. I'm too lazy to fix it now, so I'm just gonna live with it. It's anyways, it's not like a super serious drawing. It's just for fun. I just wanted to continue on the simplifying the human shape that I talked about in this Monday's video. Best design books to read? Oof, that's a good question. Dieter Rams is good for sure. If you like automotive, oof, there was a Cosmic Motors, it was called. That was quite inspirational to me. Daniel Simon, Cosmic Motors. I really like that one, just for inspiration. Super thirsty again. Terry, hey, if you are wanting to save a slight bit of time, you can make a new layer. Right, click the layer and clip mask it so you can test. Oh yeah. I know that, but I'm lazy. I just do everything on one layer now. But yeah, what you say is correct. So you make a new layer. You don't even have to right click it. You press it and you click between the 2 layers. It automatically transforms it into a clipping mask. And then basically you can try out a whole bunch of stuff, shading, like just see how it works. And you can always just turn off that layer if you think it looks like gobbledygook. I do not want that layer now. Let's see if we can. I like this yellowish one he has there. So I'll just make a new layer. Put something like that. Lock that layer and try some different color combinations. Let's try this a bit brighter and more towards the yellow. And I'll push this a bit more towards the red and go darker with it. Oh, I feel like I could go quite a bit darker. I do not dislike this, I must say. I do not dislike this at all. He needs a shadow or a reflection. Let's see the reflection. So for reflection, usually I just duplicate the guy. So there's one of him there. And I'm gonna Control T, image with edit, transform, flip horizontal. Oh, no. Edit, transform, flip vertical. I just pull him down to there. And I do not need this lower part, so I just erase that. And I bring this leg a little bit lower, something like that. There we go. I put below, there we go, now it's below our drawing. And I feel like I can push. So this is gonna, oh, what sort of brush is this? Jesus. This should be white. And obviously this wouldn't be visible like that, but it's fine now. Because we sort of see the reflection. We have to adjust this just a little bit. So I'm gonna draw in the white there and there and just bring this a little bit like this. There we go. And then I just throw a mask over this and take a big soft brush and go over it a couple of times. Yeah, I think it's working. It's working, but I do miss a line here. I miss this line a little bit, something like that. Yeah, I think that's, what do you guys think? I think that's okay. And like what I like to do is I go to the background color and invert it, just because I'm not that confident with my colors. And I know that complementary colors, so that the inverse works quite nicely. Otherwise, I could go to the Adobe color theme, which is quite useful. And I'm going to say select color and select color. There we go. So now I know that this is the family that I have. And where do I set? There we go, complementary. So this blue, I'm gonna set it for my color, and I'm gonna try and make either the screw or the little box around the screw that blue. And like this should be nicely harmonically working with the background. Okay, that's interesting. Not sure if I like it. Let me see the screw then itself. Okay, and another thing that you can do is make a darker blue and paint over the lines. Much darker blue. There we go. I think I can live with that. What's your favorite Lady Gaga song? There is one, it just doesn't come to mind right now. Do I make pixel art? I did every now and then, but I don't do it that often. I haven't done it in years now, to be honest. Thanks, Inspired Life. I need some more shadows here. Do you use a mouse or something else? I use this pen here on the screen here. I don't use a mouse for drawing. I use a mouse for gaming because it would be hard to play with the pen. Okay, darker. Okay, let's make some of our cutting lines just a bit darker. And also like this area is probably because there's machinery. It's more in dark. Same thing goes for all these little doodad areas. Ah, this looks familiar. You'll never disappoint. Thanks, Jenny. Always trying. Always trying. Looking at it, I feel like this blue could be quite a bit darker. So if it doesn't become dark enough is because when I was drawing this, I had opacity on, so the stronger you push, the more opaque it is. So I just do a copy paste of it and put it onto multiply and bring the opacity down until I feel it's nice. And there you can feel the difference. And then just merge it down again. I think I'm starting to be... I wanted to see what would happen if I put a highlight here. And I will put this... I should have named lines and colors. There we go. This would be above here. Sometimes it's good to just paint over your lines a little bit. Huh? Oh yeah, lines are locked. That's why I can't draw it. There we go. Alright guys, I think I will call this done. And I will end the live session here. The expired ink. Thank you very much for subscribing. I really appreciate that. I always try to make stuff that people will find useful. So we can turn off our friend there. There we go. We have a nice little cyborg guy person here. I'm pretty sure that if we look at it, this leg area here is something is wrong with it, but I guess for something like a quick design, this should be fine. I'll be okay with it. I don't complain too much. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for popping into this live stream. I will end it here. It was quite a bit of fun. See you guys next Thursday or Monday. I will definitely upload a video Monday, and then you can check that out. You can go through my back catalog. I have sketchbook videos, I have tutorials, a lot of stuff there. So yeah, have a great weekend, everybody, and a great Friday tomorrow. Okay, bye bye, y'all.